Welcome to Bike World, welcome to Misano, and welcome to Panigale's V4R. Now this is one incredibly special bike, and another reason why Chris is probably not going to speak to me till at least till Christmas. This is the homologation special Panigale R for 2023. Now those of you who don't know, this is the bike that is homologated to be road legal, but is the bike that is based on the race bike. So this is the bike that everybody uses to go racing. This is the bike that is winning in British Superbikes and dominating World Superbike. So it's just under 1000cc. It gets all the revisions that the V4S and the standard model has had. So it's slightly softer suspension, the improved electronic, the different tank shape, the different seat, the swinging arm pivot. But we'll get into all that technical data later. We're going to ride the standard bike first at just over 215 horsepower. But once we get the full race kit on it, it's going to be just shy of 240 horsepower and 16,500 RPM. Now that is going to be special. Can you believe it? This is my 10th or 15th trip to Italy this year, and finally the weather gods have caught up with me. We've had to postpone the trip a little bit early because we've had real thunderous, real heavy rain, and we just didn't want to risk the bike in these conditions. But I did get the opportunity to have a real good blast on the new V4R, and what a phenomenal bike. Now I'm old enough to remember all the 998Rs and 999Rs, and the R has always been a special bike, something that's been iconic with Ducati that has led to their rake success. And this is very much the state with the 2023 model. It's very different to the Panigale V4S. When you get on the bike, it feels like a Panigale, but then as soon as you start riding it, you realize that this is the DNA of a race bike. There's no electronic suspension here because you can't have electronic suspension in racing, and this, by removing the mirrors and fitting the race exhaust, is a race bike. That's essentially what it is. It feels very different in terms of power also. It's much revier. It really wants to rev. You can hold onto the gear much longer. It's really agile and really fun to ride. It is essentially a race bike with road bodywork. That's as simply as it gets. What Ducati have done is made the bike easier to ride, the same kind of thing they did with the Panigale V4S that we've tested previously. So we've got slightly softer suspension, we've got changes to the gearing, we've got changes to the electronic. Obviously there's a plethora of rider aids here which are different to the V4S because it makes different power and different torque, and it handles in a different way. But what an incredible bike to ride around here. The braking is absolutely immense. And again, that's backed up by excellent rider aids that you can just rely on and lean on. Bit of a shame the weather's turned for the worst, and a real shame that we didn't get to ride the big monster, the 200 and nearly 240 horsepower bike with a full race exhaust. That was the one I was really looking forward to. But in terms of like an appetizer, in terms of what it is, in terms of how special it is, this V4R just carries on that amazing tradition Ducati have of producing very special R bikes, and I feel very privileged to have ridden it. Since the weather's taken a turn for the worst, it means I'm going to have to come back. So yeah, expect an update, maybe Mugello. Yeah, I'll do Mugello. Yeah, and maybe the full race version. And maybe I go on the World Superbike at the same time, and the World Supersport. Yeah, there's my wish list. See you at the next one.